I think it's important to get the basics down of any business. And once you master the basics, once you have the basics, then it's all about practice. It's about doing it over and over again until you become comfortable with it, until you feel like you know what it is that you're doing. You know that feeling. You know the feeling you have when you're confident about something that you're doing. You know how you feel when you're confident as opposed to when you don't have that confidence, when you lack the confidence that you need to move forward in anything that you're doing. You know how that feels, right? But when we master the basics, when you have a good grasp on how to do things, then it's about just doing it. It's about the execution. And that's the problem. You know, it's easy conceptually. We can, say this is how it's done. The concept, the theory of how it's done is relatively easy. But the execution is what we have problems with. So execute, keep executing, keep practicing over and over again. I want you to think about it like this, right? I can tell you, I can give you an idea of what sex is like, right? I can explain that to you. I can kind of lay it out for you, tell you from my own experience what that's like, you know, the feeling, what it provides for you. I can give you all types of information on that. But now when it really boils down to it, you're not really gonna understand that. You're really not gonna know that feeling until you experience it for yourself, right? So you have to go out and do it. I can say all day long, this is what you do. This is how it's done in order to get a customer. This is what you do in order to move loads. But it's really not gonna make real sense until you actually start doing it, right? Think about it like this. When you start moving loads and you say, oh, okay, this is what it takes. This is how it works. It's gonna make a whole lot more sense than it would if I just kind of talk you through it. Yes, you can get an idea. You can get some idea in your mind of how it works if I give you the information, if I talk you through it. But now when you start doing it on your own, when you take the bull by the horns and you say, hey, I got this thing, now I'm doing it, that's when you really start to understand it. That's when you really get a grasp on the whole idea of freight brokering. I remember getting my first load moved and how excited I was about that, because it was no longer theory now. It was no longer just a concept in my mind, what people were talking about. It was something that I had actually done now, gone through the processes, gone through the steps, and made it happen for myself. And it was a different feeling because now I knew without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that I could sit at home, move loads from the comfort of home, from my computer, and make money. Yes, I thought that could happen based off of what people were saying, but until I actually went through the steps and start executing and made it happen for myself, I really didn't know. So you have to come into that understanding on your own. Yes, I can tell you how beautiful the sexual experience is, but until you do it for yourself, until you get that feeling for yourself, you don't really understand that. You don't know it for yourself. With freight brokering, we have to know that for ourselves. We have to know what it takes to go out and get a customer, to start from nothing, not having known that customer, not having any relationship with the customer. And then you put an offer in front of that customer that they can see value in and then want to work with you. At some point, talking has to cease. At some point, execution has to take over for the talking. And that's the problem. We do too much talking. We do too much watching. I don't want to just watch somebody have sex. I want to do that for myself so I can have that experience. I can have that good feeling that everybody talks about. How long are you going to watch other people broker freight? How long are you going to watch other people talk about brokering freight? When are you going to get in that seat of action and start doing it for yourself? Because that's when you really will see a big difference. That's when you'll see those results for yourself. At the end of the day, a successful freight broker, he's not someone who's just watching other people make things happen. A successful freight broker makes things happen for himself. He's not just a watcher, he's a doer. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series, and I titled it, How the Load Movement Process Works. It will give you a chance to come into the office with me and watch over my shoulder as I move loads, talk to shippers and carriers. That way you can get a better understanding of how the business works before you come into it. And then if you're interested in learning more about how you transition from a part-time freight broker to a full-time freight broker, I'll leave a free video right here. So until the next time, I wish you the very best in your life and business. See you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.